December 24th, 2005. I just got this notebook from Lara's family. Christmas shopping, no more money. Need a gift for mommy and daddy. Zoomies is a cool place to shop. I want to shop there. I need a job. This is my new calligraphy pen. I need to read my Bible tonight. It's about time to talk to God. Thanks for everything, God. I love you. This season is really all about you. Help me with my attitude, my studies, my responsibilities. I love you so much, God! Exclamation point. Help me to be consistent. I hope Laurentia is content and happy. Well, I'll go now, but I'll probably be back later. Waiting, still. Love, Ray. April 20th, 2007. Dear God, this is my first entry ever for this journal. I'm excited. It's such a pretty book. It's been a while since I wrote. I missed it, and it's about time I start again. Lord, please direct me musically. I don't know what you want with my voice and my availability, but I'm here. I'm willing. I'd love it. But it's your call. Thanks for choosing me and using me. Using me at the talent show, using me at church on Sunday. Worship was awesome. And not because of me, but because of you. Let me live for you today. Let me strive for you today. Let me hunger, meditate, and delight in you. Help me to not think of things not of you. Guard my mind and heart. Keep me pure. I live for you. Love, Rachel. August 18th, 2010. I feel like you're calling me to something greater, something deep, not necessarily wider. Prayer? Can I go there? And how so? I'm afraid of what it will turn out to be. It'd be so easy to follow if there weren't a million other voices to follow. Can I quiet my soul enough, my flesh enough, my hunger enough to truly be in a position to hear you, not just for the sake of doing, but for the sake of hearing, being, just knowing you? November 17th, 2010. God, is it ever possible again to wake up in the morning with you as my first thought? I've forgotten you, God, just as your word heeds against. It's just that it's so easy to get caught up in routine. It's easier to grow dependent on self. It takes effort to maintain a relationship. Time, patience, trust, communication. How, honestly, can I be consistent in all of these? If all these are tested, is it then a test of my devotion or truly my love? I want to improve on my discipline this year. Help me, please, to remain constant. I love that song by Starfield. There's a cry in my heart for your glory to fall, for your presence to fill up my senses. There's a yearning again, a thirst for discipline, a hunger for things that are deeper. Could you take me beyond? Could you carry me through? If I open my heart, could I go there with you? Father, let that be the cry of my heart, and help me to not let these cries become muffled under the pullings of life, because you are all I truly need, want, desire, hunger for. August 29th, 2011. Papa, today was loud. The only quiet time I had was the short time of reading The Baron in the Trees, but even then, it still wasn't stilled. And that time seemed to slip out of my hands. I hunger for the quiet, for peace, space. I've lost that. Or have I sacrificed it? Is it a temporary loss, or will I get it back? Well, maybe this is a season, or perhaps it's just life. Either way, it seems to always be something, yet never you. Love, Ray. October 10th, 2012. I've been called to listen and care, to encourage and comfort, to empathize and sympathize, to provide safe places, to offer hopeful, truthful, faith-filled encouragement to what God reveals to me, to glorify God with my hands, my mouth, to mentor, walk alongside of, to gather and to fill and feed, to guide, called to never give up, called to come alongside, my hands to write, to create, to play, my heart to love the broken, cast aside, lowly, my feet to go to dark places, to go where others won't, to go to other countries, intercultural, to bring the truth to others, online assignments. April 4th, 2015. Abba, there's something more. Something I'm not seeing. Something I'm withholding. Something I'm not receiving. And it is exhausting, pretending and acting like everything is fine, when really everything is wrong. I'm tired, explicit tired. I think the emptiness pulls me more than exhaustion. I have lost all I am, have no prospect of who I will be. In the here and now is less than what I had hoped for myself. I myself am less than what I had hoped for. I'm so involved, doing everything for everyone else, that I don't know what you want anymore. Your voice, that faint, still whisper, has altogether gone silent. December 31st, 2019. Dear God, here I am, all of broken, messy me. I'm turning to you, to face you, because I want to know you, and because I need you. Speak to me. I desperately want to hear your voice. Lead and guide me beyond where I can take myself, where I can't take myself. Slow and strengthen my breath. Let it rise, my very existence, only to you. Take hold of my heart and soul right now, this very season. Shake me until I am undone before you. October 15th, 2020. I'm not sure how to bring my heart and mind and soul to the page. Not really sure how to bring my body, much less be in it. God, I hunger and thirst for the quiet, for peace and stillness, for calm to be my portion, what sustains and satisfies. Calm my heart, mind, soul, and body. Expose the tensions within me, the wars in which I wage. Help me to take care of me, this body, this tent, not for the sake of perfection, but that I might be purified before you, and all of me might serve its purpose. January 8th, 2023. On this beginning of the new year, I don't even know where to begin. What I do know is what I want, what I hope for, and want to believe in. There is a life of simplicity, untainted devotion, of beauty, of depth, of gentleness, of grace. It calls, but to me, long, telling me that it's possible, that it exists. What I do want is to live in peace with myself, with God, with nature, with the ones I love and the ones around. This last year has been a year of losing. Perhaps this year will be a finding, a healing, a holding on to that which I know is true. Right now, I'm drinking matcha, eating gluten-free bread with garlic and burning sage. I have lost much, but I am not lost. I have lost much, but I am not lost. I have lost much, but I am not lost. When did you first begin? Why did you first begin? Where did you first begin? Did you first begin on the page, like me, pouring out poetry, pain, and prayers on the page? Did you begin on a stage, standing behind those big red velvet curtains, or in a dance studio, surrounded by walls of mirrors? Maybe creativity begged you to come to the canvas, painting wild watercolors, sketching vignettes of the sky and the sun, mixing media and materials to curate collages. When did you first begin? Was it in 2005, like me? Or 1999? Or perhaps there isn't a timestamp. Perhaps you see it in seasons. About the time when I learned to write, when my family moved cross-country, in college, after having kids. And why? Why did you first begin? Why did you first begin writing, or drawing, or sketching, or baking, or writing poems in your closet, or reading fiction under the covers, or singing in the shower, or writing songs in your head, or seeing beauty in the patterns of mathematical equations, or sewing pillows, or crafting coffee, or gardening, or seeing your home as a work of hospitable art? Why did you first begin creating? Why did you pick up the pen? Why did you start scrapbooking and start taking photos? See, here's the thing. All weekend long, we're going to hear the what, the when, the how, and the who of creativity. We're going to hear what creativity is, and when we should cultivate it, how we should create, and for whom we should create all weekend long. We're going to hear 1,000 good reasons for which we should create. We're going to hear why it matters for the world and why it matters for our businesses, why it matters for our work, and why it matters for our faith. But none of this matters. None of the songs or sermons, none of the workshops or worship, none of the panels or poems, not an ounce of the wisdom or knowledge that we encounter this weekend will matter if we don't do this one thing. We must carry this one question with us until kingdom come. Why did I first begin? All through this weekend, all through life, we must ask ourselves over and over and over again, why did I first begin. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. I'm going to read a few lines of scripture. Just hear the word. Listen to the pattern. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God. In the beginning, God created. In the beginning, God. In the beginning. John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with. In the beginning was the Word. In the beginning. You can open your eyes. Here is what I am trying to illustrate to you. In the beginning, before God creates, God communes. Before God splashes the earth into existence, coloring the canvas of our world with life and light, he communes. God dwells interdependently, Father, Spirit, Son. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. In the beginning, before God creates, God communes. And wouldn't you know, like Father, like Son, Jesus also communes before he creates. Before Jesus raises Lazarus from the dead, he weeps, John 11. But before he weeps, he converses with Martha and Mary. And before he converses with Martha and Mary, he comes to the two sisters. This is communion. This is the sharing and exchanging of intimate thoughts and feelings. And before Jesus turns water into wine, he attends a wedding that he's been invited to. Before Jesus turns the water into wine, he has to stay at the wedding long enough for the wine to run out. In order for the wine to run out, there must be drinking and feasting and conversing and communing. And you know, we've all been at those weddings that are really long and they just don't end. But here's what's happening. Communion. The sharing and exchanging of intimate thoughts and feelings. Christ's coming, how he once came, how he comes daily, and how he will always come, is for the sake of being in communion with us. Every miracle, every healing, every deliverance, every journey, every conversation, every meal, it's always ever been to draw close to us, to come close to us, to commune with us, to restore communion with us. And so I ask you again tonight, why did you first begin? Why did you first begin writing or drawing or sketching or baking or writing poems in your closet or reading fiction under the covers or singing in the shower or writing songs in your head or seeing beauty in the patterns of mathematical equations or sewing pillows or crafting coffee or gardening or seeing your home as a work of hospitable art? Was it curiosity that compelled you? Was it the need to release emotions and to experience relief? Was it a hunger for healing, a desperate plea that by dancing, by penning poems or taking photos or spinning wheels of unformed clay that somehow you might unearth hope or healing or wonder or beauty or truth or possibility? Because if that is true, then this is also true, that before we create, we commune. Deep calls to deep. All our creating is a longing, All our creating is a grasping for hope, grasping to be heard. All our creating is aching for beauty and truth and reaching toward what our souls innately know to be irrevocably true. And here's the thing, my brothers and sisters, the world is going to keep calling. It's going to keep curating opportunities for creating and making and working and going and doing and advancing and beautifying and improving and connecting. Museums aren't going anywhere. Bookstores aren't going anywhere. Conferences aren't going anywhere unless we have another pandemic, which I really hope that doesn't happen. Schools aren't going anywhere. Social media isn't going anywhere. The pressure to perform, to publish, to preach, to teach, to create, to make, it's only ever going to increase. And this is why we must carry this one question. Why did I first begin? I hope that it stays ingrained in your head throughout this weekend as you go about your workshops and when you find yourself in quiet moments, in corners where you're processing all that you are seeing and feeling and embodying and hearing and singing and saying. Why did I first begin? We keep carrying this question, keep welcoming the invitation to remember our beginning, which is our truest belonging, before we create. Before standing on stages, our words resting on shelves, or our art on museum walls, or our posts published for all the world to see, before we create, we commune. That is our beginning, our truest belonging. Tonight, receive the reminder that your creativity doesn't always have to be a teaching. Instead, it can be a reaching. Let creativity be your way of clinging to Creator, a communion in and of itself, the way that it was always meant to be. And I promise, all the healing that you're seeking, this was supposed to be mostly on cathartic creativity. I changed some things. We focused on communion, if you couldn't tell. But I promise all the healing that you're seeking, all the catharsis that you're wanting, the release, the relief from global griefs, right on down to your private personal pains. All of that is offered through our creativity, but not only through our creativity. It is offered in and through the communion that precedes and pervades it. Amen. Thanks for having me.